Hi there, Victor Pross speaking to you, anarchist artist. Okay, this is an introductory video to the subject of relationships. I've been doing a lot of videos about politics, and I figure it's time to do something, different, but that's still within the philosophical realm, still within the realm of ethics and philosophy, because relationships, human intercourse and discourse, interaction, is by its very nature, deals with values and psychology, philosophy, ethics, non-aggression, most definitely. So it's all interwoven within this subject, most definitely. And the type of relationships I'm going to be talking about are personal relationships, all different types of personal relationships, basic, friendships, romance, and family relationships. And qualifier, though, is to let you know that I don't have any kind of degrees in psychology and whatnot. When it comes to psychology and philosophy, I'm just simply a lifelong student. As they say, I went to the school of hard knocks. I got 30 years behind me of really hard thinking and tearing into books and just a lot of thinking. And within that span of time, of course, I've had considerable experience. So I'm merely imparting to you my own conclusions, my own thinking, my own experiences, and you can take from that which you will. And if you find any value in it, if I turn on any light bulbs above your head, like you see in old cartoon strips, wonderful. Then I've rendered a service, and that is the purpose of this video. It is an introductory video, by the way, and as we move along, we'll be getting into the meat of things. Okay, now, first thing I can say about relationships, just like personal relationships, is pretty similar to any kind of other relationship. There's one thing that is very similar to any kind of other relationship, whether that, what I mean by other, would be, say, like in business relationships, for example. We live in a world where we do have, we live among our fellow creatures, so to speak. We are not on a deserted island. We live in a polis, as Aristotle would say, and we are social creatures where we definitely, I think, flourish better within a society as opposed to, say, being a hermit on a self-sustaining farm, or being on a stranded island, on a deserted island, Gilligan's Island, for example, right? And so we flourish much better in terms of not only physical well-being, but psychological well-being as well. We live in a division of labor society, which means that for our standard of living that we enjoy, for all the material comforts that we take for granted, we don't, as solo individuals, have to do everything. We don't have to hunt our food, we don't have to weave our own clothing, we don't have to build our own shelter and whatnot. We are contributing members of a society, whatever our vocation is, and we mix our own labor into the general pool that is society. And but we do live in a division of labor society where we don't have to do everything, and that's one of the ways in which we advantage by living in a society as individual beings. So that is to say that when I speak of a division of a labor society, we live in a society where trade is at the forefront. And trade being entirely voluntary, it is an exchange of values. Very simply, just give a very simple illustration. You can multiply the concrete examples indefinitely. But one such example is you go to a restaurant. You voluntarily go into a restaurant. You open the door. You're going into the restaurant because you're hungry. You're seeking a value, in this case, nutrition, or to satisfy a hunger. I mean, it could be a health food restaurant, could be a burger joint, whatever. You are seeking some kind of something that you've estimated as a value to you. You part with currency. Let's just say for the moment that it's not fiat currency, that it's actually backed up by something, but it's voluntary. You're going to give a portion of your cash, that's where the terms have been set by the restaurant owners, that the meal that you're going to order has been specified in the menu as being this price. This is what you get. It's trade. It's entirely an issue of trade. Value for value, mutual benefit by mutual cooperation. That multiplies to all the other numerous instances of the world of commerce and business. It is a matter of trade. Voluntary exchange, value for value. You don't have to trade in currency. Money is nothing more than a medium, a symbol, a medium of exchange, and you give a portion of that money, or you could say to a friend, listen, I'd really want, that book that you have. It's been out of print. How about if I give you 2 copies of some other book, or how about if I give you a painting that I did? Like whatever. It's all a matter of trade. And that's in the business world. We can do business with friends, and sometimes the nature of our relationships just dictates that it's simply a business relationship. But that is the world of business. That is the world of the free market. That is the world of commerce. Now, and it's a matter of trade. I'm placing a great deal of emphasis on that. I'm placing a great deal of emphasis on the fact that it's voluntary, and that all of life, all of human discourse is about trade. Trade, value for value. Let me just emphasize that right from the outset. Okay, now, that also pertains to personal relationships. It is an exchange of values. It is an exchange of voluntary trade. Now, what is the currency of trade in personal relationships? That's the question. That would be values. Now, there's nothing I'm going to get into in any deep sense right now, but just to indicate very broadly values. I'll explain what I mean by values, but the very quick indication, of course, is that common interests. To interact with another person who has common interests. You both like a certain kind of music. You go to concerts together. You enjoy each other's company, and that is an exchange with another person, an interaction with another human being who enjoys the same things that you do. That's a good start. But we have to ask, though, that there's lots of people that we have common interests with, but we don't necessarily seek them out as friends or lovers, for that matter. There's a lot of people who are interested in the arts, such as I am, but there's just something there that I really don't care to pursue any kind of friendship with. But I could have tons of things with them in common, but there has to be something else. So that's where we get into the question of fundamental values. Fundamental values above and beyond just common interests. Fundamental values can, for example, would speak to the issue of, let's say, that I'm somebody that appreciates in other people a certain amount of intellectual curiosity, somebody who is very optimistic and embraces life and wants to understand things, and that general disposition, that spirit, so to speak. Well, all of a sudden my interest is intrigued and piqued. That I want to pursue the possibility of a friendship or romantic relationship with such an individual, based on something much more larger than, hey, you like the color blue and so do I, and oh wow, you like rock music too, so do I. Something much more deeper and abiding in an overall spiritual sense than mere common interests and hobbies and whatnot. So it's an entirely deeper issue. So one of the ways in which we can determine what the nature of the relationship is to us and what it means to us in personal terms, whether to pursue it, to avoid it, or whether you feel indifferent to the whole situation. One of the barometers, so to speak, of engaging that is not just all intellectual. It's just like, it's not just all linear, like, okay, we have common values, we have common interests, and it's just all logic. No, sometimes it just comes down to a matter of going to your gut. I know it doesn't sound very philosophical and scientific, though, and I don't want to sound like all new agey and things like that, but really sometimes it just comes down to a matter about how you feel. Your feelings. That's it. Your feelings. How do you feel about this other person? Really, that's what it comes down to. I'm not going to break out into some kind of like lame, saccharine, syrupy, gooey Barbra Streisand song. Feelings, nothing more than feelings. But I'm not. But I'm very serious about this. So I want you to bookmark what I'm saying right now for all the videos that are to come when I talk about personal relationships and the areas of friendship, romance, and family. Feelings. How do you feel about this person? How do they make you feel? Okay. Now I'm talking about like an overriding, predominant feeling, not where you're in a relationship and then at some point in time you get irritated, you know, because of what some person did, or you just because you woke up on the wrong side of the bed a given morning and you take that out on somebody else, and you're just irritated by this, that, and the other, or you're genuinely irritated by what this person has done. So I'm not talking about any kind of like transitory feelings whereby you know, you start to question the value of this person in your life, and then you you sever the relationship based on some transitory feeling. We all get irritated with the people that we love, though. Of course, you know. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a predominant, overriding feeling that characterizes the relationship and your interaction with them in a much more deeper sense, a much more abiding sense of your interactions with this person. You know, so basically, when you really get down to it, the value that we get from relationships is feelings. You know, does this person contribute to my happiness in a very fundamental sense? And that is the issue. So when it comes to how we feel about another person, all of this is not causeless. Feelings are not causeless. They're not inexplicable. It's not some kind of like inexplicable phenomena that just hits us from left center. You know, like, oh, this person makes me feel this way for some reason, and that other person over there makes me feel some other way, and who knows how I'm going to feel? Well, you can know. The feelings are not causeless. They can be traced back intellectually to very fundamental reasons that has a lot to do with our individual psychology, the nature, the moral values of the other person, the lack of moral values or whatnot. There's all types of contributing factors, and it can be very complex and psychologically speaking. It does belong. It is a subject that is within the realm of psychology and philosophy. Philosophy, as I said at the outset of this video, is very much involved in this series, and so really that's what the issue is when it comes to personal relationships. What we're ultimately seeking, just like we are seeking in business relationships. And that can be just, when I say business relationships, I don't mean like any long-term things where you're building a business with somebody else and you're an entrepreneur. I'm just talking about you could just walk into a gas station, you buy a pack of gum and things like that. That's a business relationship. It could be millions of dollars, multi-complex contractual arrangements, or it could just be a simple purchase across the table, right? But it is an exchange of values, and like I say, the exchange of values when it comes to personal relationships is one that is of a spiritual quality. I say spiritual in the sense in an entirely secular framework, so it does pertain to the issue of feelings and happiness. Okay, so that is, but life is all of a trade. It is all of a trade, and that's not something that taints the quality of relationships to compare it to the world of commerce, where the trade abounds around the exchange of goods or services. But personal relationships is a matter of trade, and there's nothing wrong with that. To seek out our happiness in other people, and to also bring something to the table that they can extract from that contributes to their happiness. And if anything, that if you truly love somebody, whether that be a romantic relationship or a friendship, that the well-being and the happiness of the other person contributes to your happiness. That is the kind of trade that we're talking about. So this is the introductory video, and I'll just be pressing on to unraveling and fleshing out the bones, so to speak. And thank you for listening. It's Victor Pross signing out for now. Pop goes the culture.